So a lot of my work and my sort of freelancing does take me to Sheffield quite a bit. And Sheffield itself, very, very creative industries there in Sheffield. Lots of very sort of digitally creative industries there. A lot of TV side productions, editing houses. Um, there's even stuff to do with billion films, multi-billion dollar films and editing and other stuff that goes on uh, over there. There's even, believe it or not, down the road, I found this out a couple of weeks ago, down the road from me, believe it or not, there's actually a prop studio. Never even knew about them. Been there for like 8 or 9 years. But sometimes the things you find out when you just randomly meet people. But there you go. But budget. A lots of very negative things, I think, to talk about in the budget, but I want to talk about something that positively happened and why I started off talking about the creative industries and the number of creative industries in Sheffield, because there are a lot of people who I know yesterday looked to the budget, went, "Oh, that's really bad," and then went, "Oh, that's interesting," because creative industries in the UK through this budget are actually going to get quite somewhat of a nice boost. Now, this is kind of good for them because a lot were very, very worried recently where we talked about Birmingham City Council, where the arts budget was completely slashed. There is no arts budget for Birmingham City Council whatsoever. And a lot of other people, especially in Sheffield, were really worried that other councils and everything else might follow suit that way. So they were really worried about that. But when they saw that in the budget, they were like, "Oh, that's interesting. That's really good. That's going to be really good for us." So I can't, um, yes, most of the budget I will admit was, you know, but like I say, there are a lot of people in the creative industry actually somewhat quite pleased about that they got some sort of recognition because I've said this before. We in the UK, and especially when it comes to creative industries, actually pretty good. It's a very large industry, provides a lot of money, especially to the UK as well. So hey, I do say, sometimes I am sort of, look on the positive side of things. Yes, most of the budget, but actually something quite good. And this is going to benefit, I think, a lot of people who are and were really worried, especially after Birmingham City Council did what they did in their recent budget. So we're going to get more into this because I think this is something at least slightly good to sort of celebrate. That these creative industries are sort of getting a bit of notice. And true, it's not everything that they wanted, but hey, it's better than nothing. And sometimes, especially for the creative industries who have been very, very much treated like very much times like they don't exist or they get very, very small token amounts. They are somewhat quite interested in this. So before we do go into this as well, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page, the one donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, buy me coffee. There's the YouTube thank you button. And of course, there's the Pony Club down below as well. So let's get on into this. So this comes from The Guardian with the title of Creative Industries Get a Budget Boost, including 26 million for the National Theatre. So the Chancellor has given Britain's creative industries a boost, including £26.4 million to help the National Theatre upgrade its stages and tax relief to encourage filmmakers to shoot more movies in the UK. The government's investment in the National Theatre is designed to try and support the urgent infrastructure upgrade needed in its landmark buildings on London's South Bank. These will be used to support the repairs to its Olivier Theatre, the senior lift, and other failing systems. Jeremy Hunt, who also announced plans to help the growing UK film industry with studio space having now doubled in the last 3 years, saying at the current rate of expansion, we will be second only to Hollywood globally by the end of 2025, he said. And that is something that a lot of people have been really excited about, that studio space has been doubling. And it has been coming mostly from, again, American sort of film investment, because they are looking to sort of expand their roster. Most films, they go in sort of an order. Most sort of big studios know what like their films are going to be for at least like the next 5 or 6 years or so. They know how long these films are going to take. They sort of slot them in, and that is because of the studio space. Now, a lot of the studio space, especially in America, rapidly filling up. But if you've got another place where you can go, where let's say you speak the same language as they do in America, like we do here, then that studio space becomes very attractive. And as we've said before, there's a lot of other industries around these, just like the television industries. You know, you saw when the BBC moved to Manchester, there were a lot of other sort of side industries that appeared as well. Same for when Channel 4 moved to Leeds. There's a lot of other sort of businesses to do with the TV industry suddenly now appearing in Leeds. Same as well in Sheffield, because again, not that far to get from Leeds to Sheffield. So we will see. But I do think this is actually something that's quite good, and something that I would like to definitely see Labour really capitalize on as well. So he continues. So under Wednesdays, say it correctly, budget measures, the eligible film studios in England will be able to get a 40% relief on their gross business rates until 2034 in a tax cut worth about 470 million over the next 10 years. Now, yeah, that is a big tax cut for these studios, but as I said, it's the industries around here, all the people that they are now going to be able to employ in the creative industries in the UK. That is something, as I've said, we do very well. So a lot of people, as I said at the beginning of this, quite excited by what's going on here. And then this is the other one, because Sheffield, a lot of independent filmmakers excited about this as well. So they don't want to say independent filmmakers will also be helped by the new tax credit scheme at a rate of at least 53% for films with budgets under £15 million, provided they meet certain criteria. There will also be further tax relief for visual effects costs in film and high-end TV. Hunt also said he would make tax breaks introduced to try and help the performing arts during the pandemic permanent, with relief levels of at least 45% for touring and orchestral productions and at least 40% for non-touring productions. So, admittedly, all this for the creative industries has really turned out to be somewhat quite nice. Lord Webber says that this will be a once-in-a-generational transformative change that will help ensure that Britain remains in the global capacity for creativity. The Chancellor told MPs. Ben Roberts, the chief executive for the British Film Institute, which shapes the film strategy and policy in the UK, has called it the most significant policy intervention since the 1990s. Andrew Wootton, the chief executive of the British Film Commission and the organisation responsible for international film and television production in the UK, said it would significantly boost the UK's world-class film and TV industries in the face of growing international competition. Daniel Strong, the chief executive of Sky Group, said that she was delighted with the government providing these vital tax reliefs to ensure that the UK's world-class film and TV production sets do continue to thrive, saying that today's announcement will bring confidence to the sector, unlocking job opportunities whilst providing a stable foundation for investments for tomorrow in the UK, such as the proposal for Sky Studios Elstree North and the filming of NBC's Universal's Jurassic 4, she said. PACT, the UK's screen sector trade body representing independent production and distribution companies, and the BFI said that they believe the uplift in the film tax credit would lead to more producers choosing to film in the UK, which will sustain job and create new opportunities. The sector has reached a very critical point, and this intervention will provide a lifeline to the indie film producers, allowing them vital access to funding, which will attract key creative talent and in turn give them the ability to recoup their initial investment, said John McVeigh, chief executive of PACT. So overall, you know, I can't disagree with that. You know, that's very good. They can do it. And which is what is so frustrating. They can do this. They can do this for the creative sector, which, as we said at the beginning of this video, a very important sector for the UK, brings in millions, billions indeed, to the UK in GDPs. So it's great to see the government supporting a sector. The then question we also now need to be asking, because people are going to be upset that I didn't quote bash the Tories, but hey, sometimes when they do good things, hey, we'll say doing that, hey, it's going to be good because it's going to lead to a lot of good investment. It's going to lead to a lot of jobs in this sector. I can't rubbish it because it's really good. And I said I know a lot of people in Sheffield who are very, very excited, especially about that the indie film grant as well that was talked about there. But frustrating about the fact that if they can do something good like that, why then on earth can they not do anything about other similar industries that are also needing some desperate support as well? That if we can have, again, according to who was the guy? What was it? The BFI? Yeah, the British Film Institute, saying this is going to be the most significant intervention since the 1990s. Why on earth can they not intervene into other industries, giving them help and support that they need, such as, oh, I don't know, manufacturing or the steel industry? Mm. Anyway, yes. So really good, honestly. And I know, as I've said, many people in Sheffield who are very, very excited about that. And are certainly going to be watching very interestingly or interested with interest to see how that develops and how they can gain access to specialized funding. The ability, again, more potential studios opening more studio space, especially sort of, graphic design, high-end graphics for film and TV. That's going to be very good, especially again in Sheffield and Leeds as well. So hey, something actually good sort of came out of this budget. So there you go. So as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.